Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be episode one of our new build. And we're basically just gonna do a quick unboxing today of the product itself and kind of why I decided to choose it. So let's get to it. So the tank I decided to get for this brand new build is actually going to be another Red Sea, just a little bit smaller. How small, you say? About the size of, well, this is actually the stand for it. And this is actually the tank. So for this tank build, we are going to go ahead with the Red Sea Max Nano G2 Peninsula. And there's a couple reasons I decided to go with this tank instead of, for example, like an innovative marine or anything else. And the most important reasons are, number one, it comes in a white stand, and that white stand perfectly matches my white tank. And number two, I needed something that would hide this ATO. So, honestly, I wasn't ever allowed a second tank. My wife basically said it was one or nothing, but because this little behemoth right here is so dang ugly, I've actually gotten permission to set up another tank. And luckily, with the new Max Nano Peninsula, it's a little bit longer. It's basically the full length, I mean not the length, full width of like a standard Red Sea, so like 22-ish inches. I think it's just shy of that, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, but it's basically a long enough shape where it won't look too awkward next to the full main tank, and it's not a square, which I kind of like as well. And of course, this ATO perfectly fits into that stand. So this basically gave me the perfect opportunity to start a brand new build. And I just noticed right here, the this little orange spot filefish is in a tank with just a couple of acros. Dude, those acros must be getting murdered. But yeah, that's super funny. Now, one of many other reasons that I ended up getting this tank is, number one, it is a Red Sea. I will say I am not being paid to make a build for this tank, but I am a little bit of a Red Sea fanboy. I have had quite a few of them, and I just like the build overall, even though, you know, others have problems with exploding tanks. That hasn't been the case for me for this tank. Probably not this tank or my previous tanks. Now, one of the many other reasons I decided to get this tank is this is basically a plug-and-play tank. I think it says that somewhere. Maybe not on this side, but this tank is basically more or less ready to go, and it makes it easy for me to go ahead and set up. You can see it has the Reef LED, so the lighting is included. I believe it has a skimmer right here as well, which is in the back. And also at some point, you know, if I do decide to get more advanced with the tank, this tank is already made to be Reef mat and ATO compatible, which means that these two items are made to be integrated perfectly with this, so that reduces any need for like cutting, for example, removing any silicones, having to remove any of these other bits, and that just, you know, makes things a whole lot easier. So we're gonna go ahead and open this guy back. We're gonna go ahead and open this guy up, and yeah, we'll see what we got in here. All right, so we have the tank on the stand. I know there's a bunch of stuff in the way, so it looks kind of iffy, but it's okay for now. I'll throw that away in a little bit. But yeah, I like that it is just a little bit longer than your average square tank. I think it's like 2 or 3 inches. So, you know, it is almost the full width of the S1000 and maybe some of the other, you know, Red Sea reefers that they have. So it almost, you know, is almost flush. I might actually move it forward a little bit just to make it flush with that. And that way it might look, you know, just a little bit better. But yeah, the tank itself is super nice. You do have the bracing right here. You can kind of see very similar to the Red Sea S1000. It was really hard to show you on this one just because I do have a Euro brace on it. But this one, you can see pretty, if it'll focus, pretty obvious right there. You do have just that 45-degree piece that goes all the way down to the base, and it is also on all 4 bottom corners from end to end. So that actually makes it, yeah, super awesome when it comes to using a scraper. You just won't bash into a corner, causing those leaks that, kind of everybody's afraid of these days. But what is kind of cool, we do have the standard overflow. It looks like this overflow is removable, which is awesome. That means it'll make it super easy to clean. And then we do have the return pump. I don't know why the return is here and not maybe a little bit higher. It sits kind of low, which is super weird. Yeah, if anybody knows why it's designed like that, let me know in the comments, but yeah, that is kind of awkward. Now here in the back, we do have the little frame thing that comes in like the E260s. It's kind of like I guess just a barrier so you don't see the back. I mean, it's kind of cool. You don't really need it. I don't have it on my Red Sea Reefer. Well, it doesn't come with one, but yeah, it's not bad just to have there, but it does look a little awkward, at least to me it kind of does, but we'll keep it on just to, because it's there. Now the intake is super cool. You have the overflow, which goes into kind of like this catch plate looking thing, and that actually comes off as well. That is a new thing I've never seen before, and that's kind of cool. And it looks like it basically just funnels the water. Comes in, funnels it into this little media basket right here. I don't actually know what you're supposed to put in this sock, maybe just carbon. That's kind of weird, but it looks like this piece comes out as well, perfect for cleaning, and then it just goes up pretty much just right in there. And it looks like right there we have a piece for either the skimmer or the ATO to kind of sit on. And then we have another little thing right here. Looks like it's made for example, like sponges. It's a very interesting design. It's on kind of a swivel, so I guess you can't really pull it out, but you can lock things into place, which is super cool. And then lastly, this is the return chamber where you'll see that hole that we kind of just mentioned. So overall, the design, it's pretty cool. It seems like it's really well thought through. There's a lot of small things you just kind of wouldn't, you wouldn't generally notice. For example, this little kind of like a cup thing that funnels the water into like this filter sock, and then just whatever the heck this thing is kind of cool. But these are just all small little details. I feel like, they put some effort into it. Now, as I said, this guy is plug and play, so it did come with, I think it says on the back, an accessory box. And inside here is basically everything else that you'll need. It actually does come with a manual ATO, which I think is super cool. This one I didn't know it came with, so I guess you just fill water on the top, and then it just uses a float valve to just drip water back in. So that is super convenient. That solves a lot of problems that we'll get to in a different not next episode, but a different episode. But that is something really cool to have. It does actually come with a skimmer as well. That's super cool. This is the full skimmer body. Generally with these, tanks that come with skimmers, the skimmer is kind of just meh, but still good to have. We have the mounting for the Red Sea LED. Just looks like some parts here and there. Looks like some type of another, oh, this is a skimmer cup. That's kind of cool. And then we have the pump for the tank itself, and then we have the Reef LED 50. Everything else is just going to be like carbon, the light stand, the nozzle for the tank, and then just looks like some filter cloths. All right, so you can actually see we have the tank fully set up now. As you can see, I moved it from the right side to the left side of the tank. A couple reasons. One, it is a little darker in this side, so I'll probably get better color contrast. It was sticking out a little too much on the other side, and of course, my wife didn't like it on that other side, so here, now it's on the left. But basically, yeah, we have the light all set up now with just the real basic kind of like a 9 to 5 type of setting. We have everything in here now. So we have the intake area as seen before. We have the skimmer in place, which is super cool. Now, usually these skimmers don't do all that well, but honestly, I feel like for a little nano tank, the skimmer doesn't have to be that good, just because you can fix a lot of things with just doing water changes, which is one of the plans of having this tank. And then last but not least, we have the ATO, which is this little guy right here. It is a float valve ATO. Hopefully that works. I never really used a float one before. It's always a electronic one, but yeah, that's pretty much it. This thing is super cool. This is like a full power hub unit. So this actually has controls for both the pump as well as the skimmer. Even though it's blurry, you can't see it. But this is almost kind of like the old control hub, so everything is controlled through this. One is the pump, one is the skimmer. That's really all you need. We have a heater on a separate line. That's actually one of the only things this tank doesn't come with, which is a heater. Other than that, it's pretty much a completely ready to go tank, which is super cool. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today's episode. We have this guy all set up and ready to go, and yeah, we just have to wait for the journey to begin. So thank you guys as always for watching. Hopefully this will be a fun series for a lot of you, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.